Welcome back to another episode of Unsinkable Theory, a show where we talk about our favorite movies and moments, and at the end we will decide if they are sinkable or unsinkable. So we just watched Dark Phoenix. First impressions.
It was not the greatest.
It's there. It's a thing that they made.
They made the movie. Why they make the movie? I don't know.
So
it's not doing that well on the box office
all right.
right
So late reshoots in 2018 for the entire third act, with a budget of $200 million.
Oh my god!
And
wait, the reshoots or the whole movie?
No, the whole movie.
Oh, okay.
And it's made $42 million in the past.
Jesus.
I guess we should
days.
tell them. I guess we should tell them it is actually Saturday night now and not Thursday night.
Right.
I mean,
so
I don't think.
Well, 3 days, 42
gonna help a
million.
movie.
So I'd say they'd be lucky to hit 500.
I have to say, I didn't read a lot of stuff going into this movie, and in the one review I did see the day of, it simply said, "I'm going to save you your money. Don't go see this movie." So,
Oh my god!
they said Last Stand does everything this movie does better, but it's still bad. If that makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they feel like they made zero progress. Because Last Stand came out, what, 2006?
It came out in 2006. So I remember
It's been
seeing it on
13 years,
666.
and they couldn't make a better movie.
It doesn't help that it's the same producer, Simon Kinberg, that did those original X-Men movies, but this time he was the writer and director.
Well,
So he was probably looking at his second shot to do Dark Phoenix.
Well, it probably
the
doesn't
right
help
way.
that Bryan Singer was originally supposed to direct this movie.
Yeah. Well, they had poor, reportedly horrible test screenings for this movie.
I think I read that too.
And then
Yeah.
that's why they reshot the entire third act. But really, they just needed an entire new script.
I think you do.
And different story.
At a point, you got to admit your writers aren't the strongest, and you got to hire other writers to write your movie.
And
So-
the casting wasn't that great too.
No, see, I think that's where you're wrong.
Think so?
I think that this is an MCU level casting. Like, for this X-Men team, I would have loved to see them in the MCU and be the MCU X-Men. I think it's a good team. I think they have a solid cast. I don't necessarily like Jennifer Lawrence or Brandon Hout as Beast. He's okay. They're all right. You know, they're not the
Can I
best.
refine my
but
statement? I like everybody except for Sophie Turner.
I was supposed to say that.
I like Sophie Turner in the role. I think
She's
she
so
was
wooden.
a strong.
She's literally playing Sansa.
That's what
I think
was
she was a
thinking,
stronger
too.
point in the movie.
She's
actually,
I think she's too stoic too much of the time. She doesn't feel like.
I think she forgot that she has to play, like, she's not in Game
Emotional.
of Thrones anymore, and she needs to, like,
Yeah.
act like a normal person. Because
So-
every time she deliver a line, it would sound like she was talking like Sansa, only with an American accent.
yeah. So that was what I was gonna say. The positives of the movie for me was a strong cast. I thought I like Nightcrawler. I like Cyborg.
Yeah,
Not
they were
Cyborg,
good.
Cyclops. Sorry, my fault.
We don't talk about him.
I do like Jean Grey in that role. I would have liked to see other X-Men, maybe even Deadpool's what's his name? The metal guy.
Oh God.
Colossus?
Yes,
Colossus. I would have liked to maybe see him, like, brief cameo.
Didn't Ryan Reynolds play Colossus in Last Stand?
No,
I don't
he
think so.
he
It was just a generic
he
white
voiced Juggernaut. That might be what you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
He was the voice of the Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. But like I was saying,
guy.
positives
Half now.
would be the cast, I think,
Yeah.
and the negatives would be everything else.
I think that's an extremely fair assessment.
Yeah. One part I thought was lacking was we didn't really have a good
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. Yeah, Quicksilver montage. We had the very quick montage in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he gets hurt when they confront Jean at her childhood home, and then he's just
Gone.
He seemed like really severely injured for what looked like he just fell about 10 feet.
But I guess he's going fast too. I guess that's part
yeah.
he's going fast, and he did.
I can understand it, but like you would think the same. He kind of has the same powers as the Flash, right? You would think.
Something like
The
that.
Flash can heal really fast. He has a
Does
high
that-
metabolism.
But
And they
can
even
Quicksilver do that?
showed Quicksilver having such a high metabolism because he's always like eating and doing
yeah.
stuff.
Like,
'Cause he's
So you would
burning,
think
like,
that he
millions of
would be
calories.
healing faster too. Like all his cells in his body are faster.
I think they just used it as an excuse to not have as many A-list stars in the movie.
Yeah. I tried to look up why he wasn't in the movie more, and there wasn't really
Probably.
anything definitive.
like cut it.
Good
Cut it,
Lord,
or they didn't want to spend the money.
This movie needed some comedic relief. This movie was it was so boring.
It was
Oh my
the
God.
writing was awful.
I pulled up in my
I
phone
just-
halfway through and I was like, God damn it, it's only been an hour and 20 minutes.
See, and I think the worst part of that was the villain. It's supposed to be this alien race, the Abu Dari or whatever.
Dabari.
The
Dabar.
Abu Dari.
I don't fucking know.
Dabari.
Like, that's how forgettable it is. And
Yeah.
there wasn't even like a simple monologue to help explain the motivations. It's like, our planet got destroyed by this
Oh, wow.
Energy.
energy. The
We've been
purple
following it, and
parallax is what you were calling it.
Let me-
Purple parallax. Yeah.
So, we had mentioned it when we walked out of the movie about I don't even know what her character's name was. Jessica Chastain's character.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So, her character, if she's able to absorb that force, how did the planet get destroyed?
Right.
But that can be explained with maybe they didn't know what it was, they weren't prepared. All right, that's fine. But they said they were following it around for a long time. How couldn't they catch up with it and absorb it?
Maybe she did say that it destroyed everything they touched. Maybe she was able to absorb it because it was already in a person.
Oh, so
It's
like
been-
a medium that
Yeah.
lessens it. So it
Yeah,
can be
unless like Jean took the brunt of it.
the
She was able
raw
to
power.
transfer it over
Yeah.
to her.
Okay.
I don't know. It still seemed like bullshit to me.
That's the only way that I can think to reconcile that issue. My
You're
main
trying to
issue
justify the horribleness of this movie.
My issue is I never like the Dark Phoenix power came from space, but it was clearly inside of her in Apocalypse movie.
I think
when she's blowing up Apocalypse.
I think what it did is it broke down those psychic barriers that
but like
Professor X had put in there.
but it was
I think it
clearly,
made
like,
it more
popping her
stronger.
veins up and-
It made it stronger, I think.
Right.
I don't know. If they would
It
explain that a
clearly-
little bit.
It clearly seems to me this movie made it seem like Dark Phoenix was the purple parallax from space.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't make it seem like it was anything
And I
else.
thought that too, but then there were parts where they literally said no, it broke the force, whatever, broke down those psychic barriers.
Yeah.
So so I don't think they were trying to say that life force thing was where she got her, her Phoenix powers. That's what broke off Professor X's safeguards.
And it might have been better to play off of Professor X kind of being like the bad guy.
He
a
makes
little
sense,
bit.
that guy.
Like he was like a little bit of like everybody's it's your fault sort
he
of
was
things
just-
that this
he was
happened.
just a
And
different
they could have played that up a little bit
character,
more
yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it was weird. to
I
make
think it was
Professor
kind
X
of
the bad
out
guy.
of
Professor X
character.
is supposed to be the good guy.
I think it was kind of out of character for him to be like obsessed with all this glamour around the X-Men.
He said he was doing it to keep the X-Men.
Oh right,
means
but he's
to
like
an end,
going
yeah.
to
keep
these
keep
like
mutants safe.
high class events and stuff like that, and just imagine him chatting
Well,
up the president all the time and
so
stuff.
he's the
it's just
spokesman
like-
for all mutants. He's
Yeah,
got to be
I
at
don't
these
know.
things.
It just seemed like he was way too being way too egotistical for
I
what I
thought
would
it
imagine
seemed-
Professor X to be.
I thought it seemed a little realistic, but it's like this in every movie that the X-Men, they even say in the movie, they're one bad day away from being the enemies again.
Right.
It just seemed so crazy about how they had one mutant attack 6 cops. So say 2 cops to a car,
Yeah.
3 cops got thrown.
But those cops came out of nowhere for no reason.
And
by the way,
just that okay, Congress is talking about putting X-Men in camps again. It's like that seemed like a quick
That's all it
escalation
took?
for one mutant.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It was a very quick.
On top of that, did you notice at the end of the movie, everything was hunky dory again?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna guess they said, "Hey, Jean got taken over. Jean's guess dead now. I guess it doesn't really matter because like they're making.
We took care of it.
But they can just say
She's out of the picture.
Jean's dead. She got taken over by aliens.
Yeah.
They're aliens now, and then they also got to tell Congress
Yeah.
that, but they tell the president, and the president's just like, okay, Congress.
How do they explain all that train crash to the government and everything? It was like, oh no, that wasn't us. There was an alien invasion that nobody else
Well, yeah, I
knew
think
about.
all those bodies are probably all those bodies are laying around.
How convenient.
All those bodies are laying
Oh,
But
around.
weren't
right,
they?
okay.
But
But
even when
I'm
they
just
died,
saying,
weren't they
but-
still in their shapeshifter form?
I
Or
thought
did
they
go
kind.
back?
I thought they kind of turned back like Skrulls did.
I don't know.
I don't know either. All I know is this was.
I mean,
a
some
terrible
of them
movie.
definitely died while like. If you like shoot them, you can see their alien part. Some of them
Right.
definitely died with half their bodies exposed as non-human.
I don't know. This movie upset me.
It was not.
This just.
We could probably talk all day about how bad this movie is. And
I don't know how. I don't know what to do
yeah, like
except thank
The-
Fox for not making any more movies. Okay. Oh. So New Mutants, is that a Fox property?
Yeah,
That's not a Fox.
yeah, that's a Fox
It's
property.
a Fox property.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's the
Well, people
last.
keep saying that this was the last movie.
I don't. They keep delaying.
Well, that's a
it.
different. It's not. I don't think there's going to be any X-Men that we know.
Yeah.
Of like
This is like a-
traditional X-Men. In
This
But
is
it's
like a
still
different-
the X-Men universe, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was supposed to be mutants. I don't remember
I,
if they're actually
not sure.
crazy or they just put them into a insane asylum because they're mutants, and then I guess they get haunted by another mutant. That's like it's like a
'Cause
horror
isn't,
mutant movie is what I remember.
Isn't Maisie Williams in this movie?
Yeah, I
in that
believe
movie?
so. Yes.
I think they probably
And-
filmed this movie like 3 years ago.
Probably. Oh,
The
gosh,
thing
looks
that I
like-
think was lacking as well was more of a presence from Michael Fassbender as Magneto, because I think that is a
God, I
strong
love
suit
him. I
of the
love that guy.
series.
Yeah.
Is that character and his portrayal. So maybe explaining like kind of who, not even explaining, just showing us more of those people that he was with, that they had like a 5-minute battle with no name characters.
Oh, at their little ship.
Well, they
place,
went
island?
to, yeah, they
Oh, yeah,
were
the
at that
dreadlock-
island,
the-
but then they went to New York
the
or
dreadlock
London
guy?
or whatever to find
Yeah.
What's
Jean
his
Grey.
power? What's his power? Do you
the dreadlock guy.
Yeah, he grows his
No
hair
idea.
out fast, or he can, because he wasn't like necessarily controlling it, like it's like
I
a
saw something with
prehensile
like
tail. You know what I mean?
I
It
don't
was just
know.
like he was whipping it, like.
I saw something with like that and swords or knives or something.
And then
I
what
don't
was
know.
that
It's
other
just
girl's
weird.
power?
Telepathy.
But she was just stopping him from teleporting.
They just
away. It was
wanted more
kinda
women
weird.
in the movie, probably.
See,
That's a hot take.
I wish I knew, honestly. Just
I
a
don't.
little conversation here and there at the little, like Jean Grey goes,
Here, ooh.
what can you do? Or something like
Here's-
that. Or reads her mind and she's like, I don't know. Just anything.
Here's something that I did love: the high quality lighting in this movie. Single-handedly saved this film
No.
from a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No.
It's still only at 19, but
Oh, it was at 22 at one point.
it's going back down.
Yeah.
God, that lighting was like.
It was
I
bad.
usually don't pay attention that much to like. For example, when we were watching Justice League, everyone said, "Oh, Steppenwolf's CG is super, super bad." I didn't honestly notice.
I didn't really.
I
But
didn't
this
notice.
lightning that
Other
was
than he
coming,
looked boring.
this
I don't-
lightning that was coming out of Storm's powers looked atrocious. Holy shit!
Even that guy's
so
dreadlocks were horrible.
Yeah,
Him flinging his dreadlocks around.
I was actually
But-
noticing how cheap it looked. I was like, I don't notice that kind
I
of
thought
stuff.
Nightcrawler's smoke looked okay though.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I was just about to say
Probably
that.
spent all
And
their
did
budget on
they
that.
did they nerf Nightcrawler?
I
What do you mean?
No.
He went on a
I thought he
rampage. He was
just had
killing people.
I thought he could teleport to places that he knew, like he could visualize it in his mind. Like he,
can
didn't
go back.
have to.
He can go back to places. I think it's almost like Jumper. You know how Jumper, if you just know of a place, you can go to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he had to be able to see inside the spaceship because he's never been in the spaceship.
Well, Jumper, he had to look at a photo and he could go there.
And then they could go back if they'd been there before. So he just kept a book
Yeah.
to help him remember.
Oh, okay.
So he said he needed the spaceship so he could see in the spaceship. But
Right.
I remember the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, and he could go anywhere he's been. But if it's a new place, he has to be able to
X-Men
kind of see
Evolution.
it. He has to be able to kind of see
That
it.
makes sense.
X-Men Evolution, are you talking about that?
Was
Where they're
that
kind
the-
of young and in high school.
Yeah.
That make sure that he doesn't like teleport into like half of a wall or something. Yeah.
Yeah. That TV show, X-Men Evolution, and I was thinking of this the entire time, I think is the reason why I like this cast and that X-Men team so much. is, there's the older Magneto, older Professor X, older Mystique. And there's some older characters, but it's generally like a younger high school team. And I think it's the nostalgia from watching that show that makes me like this current team. And that could be it.
Yeah, I remember they did a whole episode. They did a whole episode where they didn't fight Magneto or anything. And I don't know how canon this is in the comic books, but when Nightcrawler jumps, he like goes through like this volcanic world full of like these blinds.
The hell?
You remember Tremors when they had like the walking ones that actually like walked above ground?
Yeah.
They were like those, but like in a volcanic world, and so like Professor X put equipment on them so they could like slow down. Because he's only ever in the world for like a millisecond. Right. But they slowed him down so he's like in the world for like 5 minutes. He's getting attacked by these like tremor-looking monsters in the volcanic world. He got all mad and he didn't want to teleport anymore. But then like he had to teleport, I think, like to save the day at the end of the day. At the end of the episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know we don't have like any info yet, but if they do ever bring mutants into the MCU, like the vanilla mainstream MCU, how do you think they're gonna do that? You guys have any ideas? Or
I would say, Billy had. Do you want to explain your theory of how?
Oh yeah, but that depended on how the whole
the snap worked.
Yeah, well, how the
reverse
whole
snap.
The end of that. I forgot the name of that movie now.
Endgame
worked. Not that it was a forgettable movie. I just forgot the end of it. Was that the people that came back from the snap maybe got genetically mutated or potentially they have a higher increase of getting powers?
Well, it like activated the X gene was always latent inside their DNA.
So like the fact that like the
power of the stones
they magically get snapped away and now they're magically brought back. Now they're at an increased risk for their X gene.
Yeah, the energy from the snap like brought that X gene out of
Does
dormancy.
Does Kevin Feige have his cell phone listed?
I don't know.
Text it to him. Be like, hey,
I'm sure people have been pitching him ideas to bring mutants in since they started these.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure he knows exactly what he's going to do for it, because they could do multiverse, they could do anything. But I thought that was such a good idea, and I have been telling people that.
I think the multiverse.
And they're always like, "Wow, that is so."
You've been telling people my idea?
Yeah. Well, see, I was about to start explaining it, but then I let you explain it because it's your idea.
Did you cite me?
Yeah.
Zach Polk?
Detroit Country Day, 19 years old.
Zach Polk at the BFT _ on Twitter.
Follow him.
Okay, let's wrap it up into a final verdict. Yes.
Okay. Well, we must be in Antarctica because there's just icebergs everywhere. This movie was just trash. Full sinkable. It was trash.
Well,
I walked in with zero expectations and I was still let down. This movie was trash.
I just feel bad for the people that worked it. Like they worked at Fox 20th Century Pictures, and like they had no control over what the script is.
Yeah, they're still getting their money.
Yeah, but they still worked hard on. I'm guessing they still worked hard on the movie.
They got paid their salary whether the movie was good or bad.
Well, now they're probably going to be losing their jobs.
Well, they might be able to find something.
They can go to Marvel Studios.
They can work at YouTube.
Go work for Disney's now.
Well, no. Well, they got to think. There's one less studio out there now.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, sinkable.
This movie is at the bottom of the Atlantic. It's got fish swimming through it. That shouldn't be there. It is sunk. This is a full sinkable movie. And the main reason for me, lack of motivation for the villain, zero explanation of this alien race, and god-awful writing. But, like I said, I like the cast. I like the team.
Sophie Turner's hot.
She is hot, but that cannot save this movie.
They definitely made her boobs, stand out.
They were poking them out. Oh, yeah. For sure.
They were trying desperately anything to get this movie at higher rating. All right,
Billy.
sinkable.
When they started these new X-Men movies back in 2011 with First Class, I thought it was really good, and it just kind of went down. It's very unfortunate that we have such.
You could say it was taking water on the front.
No, it's definitely a sinkable movie. I was just trying to say it's unfortunate we have more bad X-Men movies than good X-Men movies.
Days of Future Past was good. I liked First Class as well, and I was
First Class
excited.
was great. I loved First Class.
And I was excited for where this was going, especially when I heard Apocalypse was happening with this new young team. I was like super pumped.
Days of the Future Past was very iffy for me.
I also read recently that they wanted that to be the last X-Men movie in their.
Well, yeah, that makes sense because you remember Logan comes back and it's the original cast
Right.
is there. So like that kind of makes sense.
But alas,
Let's get another Logan movie.
Let's get the funding.
Hugh Jackman for the MCU.
No, let's just get another Logan movie like where he just does Logan things like that.
Just does Logan stuff.
Old Hugh Jackman.
That is the best X-Men movie.
Or maybe they'll get that
The standalone Logan movie. Rated R.
Spanish-speaking girl from Logan.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she'll
X-23,
run
is that
around
what she's called?
I don't know. Get the lifeboats.
Yeah, she's.
No, all these people are dead.
Deploy the lifeboats.
All right. Anything else we want to talk about?
Nope, that's it. Sinkable. Unanimous sinkable.
Full sinkable.